दृष्टुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्. We have discussed the reactions in which the aldehydes differ from ketone. Oxidation reaction, aldehydes undergo oxidation to form carboxylic acid but not ketones. Then comes the polymerization reaction, aldehydes undergo polymerization but not ketones. Then aldol condensation, aldehydes undergo intermolecular reversible reaction to produce condensation reaction to produce aldol, whereas ketones, acetone forms a ketol or diacetone alcohol. Then comes the PARA. Now we'll come to this is the mnemonics you have taken in which they differ. O paras, O P A R A S. We have discussed O P A R. We have discussed. Now we'll come to discuss A, ammonia. We'll discuss now ammonia. How ammonia reacts with formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. Now let's come very important reaction. Many often question comes how formaldehyde reacts with ammonia. When formaldehyde treated with ammonia, 6 molecules of formaldehyde undergo condensation to form a cyclic product. To form a cyclic product, hexamethylene tetraimine called as erotropin used for the preparation of medicines for urinary tract infection. So when formaldehyde when treated reacts with ammonia or when treated with ammonia, formaldehyde when treated with ammonia, 6 molecules of formaldehyde undergo condensation with 4 molecules of ammonia. 4 molecules of ammonia to produce a cyclic product. Hexamethylene tetraamine, that is CH2 6 and 4 called as erotropin. This is used as a starting material for the preparation of drugs for the cure for urinary infection. So it is used for urinary infection, hence from that word they call erotropin, that Europe word that comes. When formaldehyde is treated with ammonia or reacts with ammonia, then what are 6 molecules of formaldehyde? 6 molecules of formaldehyde undergo condensation with 4 molecules of ammonia to produce a cyclic product called hexamethylene tetraamine called as erotropin. That you take formaldehyde HCOH, then 6 molecules of formaldehyde will react with 4 molecules of ammonia to produce hexamethylene tetraamine CH2 6 and 4. These 6 methylene molecules are there, so hexamethylene tetraamine. Tetraamine. This is called as erotropin. So is a multi-various question. They may ask you what is erotropin. They may ask you, or they may ask you how ammonia reacts with formaldehyde. They may ask you. So when formaldehyde, when treated with ammonia, 6 molecules of formaldehyde undergo condensation reaction with 4 molecules of ammonia to produce a cyclic product, hexamethylene tetraamine, called as erotropin, used for the preparation of urinary drugs for treatment of urinary tract infection. Then how is this? So there is a 6-membered ring. There is a 6-membered ring, and where the carbon atom and nitrogen atom are alternately arranged. You can write the product very easily. So this is a structure of hexamethylene tetraamine, where you will have 6 alternate. You write carbon nitrogen alternate, carbon nitrogen alternate, then you can write. So we'll write CH2N, then CH2N, then CS2N, then CS2. Okay, CS2N, 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 CS2N. 3 methylene gone and 3 nitrogen gone. 1 nitrogen remain and 3 methylene remain. So here you will have a bond, and here you will have a bond, here you will have a bond. So now, and so 3 bonds, NCS2, then here you will have NCS2, then you will have NCS2 gone, and write N here. So like this, hexamethylene tetraamine. First you write 3 methylene molecules, 3 methylene, then alternate carbon nitrogen, carbon nitrogen, carbon nitrogen, then again nitrogen carbon nitrogen, nitrogen carbon nitrogen. So how systematic and how uniform this product is. Hexamethylene tetraamine is formed as a it is used for the urinary tract infection, hence the word erotropin comes. So because of this structure, so children, if you can write this structure, you will impress your examiner. You can impress your examiner by writing this structure. Very easy to write. What else? First you write CS2 like this, alternate CS2N, then CS2, then N, then you write CS2, then N. Okay, then you write this. Now this nitrogen has a valency, this nitrogen has a valency, so 1 valency, 1 valency, 1 valency. Then how many CS2 are there? 3 CS2 are there. Write 1 CS2, write 1 CS2 here, write 1 CS2. Then one more nitrogen, write the nitrogen, then write the bond, write the bond, write the bond. Bas. This is erotropin. Hexamethylene tetraamine, called as erotropin, is a starting material for the preparation of medicines in the treatment of urinary tract infection. Now we will come to how acetaldehyde reacts with ammonia. Reaction of acetaldehyde plus ammonia. So what is ammonia? If you come to ammonia, here you have this nitrogen atom, and you have 3 hydrogen atoms like this, and here is a lone pair of electron. So this is the shape of ammonia molecule, and this is a 2.1 and this is a 3, electronegativity 3. So this always there is a drift of electron towards the nitrogen atom. Nitrogen has delta negative charge and this has delta positive charge. So this is the shape of ammonia molecule, a pyramidal shape, and it is a dipole, and this will react with the ammonia, so HNS2. This means, what I mean to say, ammonia has 2 parts. One part is H, the other part is NS2. NS2 is a nucleophile. So when you take acetaldehyde, treat it with ammonia, it undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction. It undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction to form acetaldehyde ammonia. So H plus NH2 minus. NH2 minus is the nucleophile that will go first to the carbon, then H will be added to O. So when you take acetaldehyde, this is acetaldehyde, CH3HCO, and we are treating this with ammonia, HNH2. I am writing this HNH2. So nitrogen is negative, so I am putting negative. Hydrogen is positive, I am putting here positive. Here oxygen is negative and carbon is positive. So this undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction. This undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction. What happens? This carbon atom is delta positive charge, so the NH2 attacks carbon and H attacks O. First the nucleophile will be added, then the H will be added. So this will form now CH3 H C OH and NH2. So this is called acetaldehyde ammonia. Just like remember, hydrogen cyanide is added, formaldehyde cyanohydrine, acetaldehyde cyanohydrine, acetone cyanohydrine. So exactly here also the same way, the very simple way this undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction, so to produce acetaldehyde ammonia. Now we'll come to how it reacts with acetone, how acetone reacts with ammonia. So now we'll come discuss the reaction of acetone plus ammonia. So the reaction is a little different. I told you, because all these are nucleophilic addition reactions. So when I discussed you the structure, I have explained you at that time that there is an increase of with increase of alkyl group, the inductive plus I effect increases, the positive charge density upon the carbon decreases, and with increase of the number of CH3 group, the bulk of the methyl, due to the bulk of methyl group, there is a shielding effect or steric effect, and the reaction, hence because of influence of the steric effect, because of the increase in the influence of plus I effect, so these molecules they react differently. Though they have aldehyde group, they have the carbonyl group, but the reaction take place because of this structural difference. Now let's come how acetone will react with ammonia. So when acetone treated with ammonia, two molecules of acetone undergo a condensation reaction. Two molecules of acetone undergo condensation reaction to produce diacetone amine. So when acetone is treated with ammonia, two molecules of acetone undergo condensation to produce diacetone amine. This also proceeds with the nucleophilic addition reaction with the loss of a molecule of water. I have taught you the reaction. There are some reactions in which the nucleophilic addition reaction take place with the loss of a molecule of water. So now this is one molecule of acetone. This is CH3CO plus NH2, another molecule of ammonia, and here is HCH2 Cu CH3 acetone molecule. So here these are all are H plus, so this is H plus, this is minus, this is H plus, this is minus, and this is minus, and this is C plus. So molecule of water is lost. Molecule of water is lost. So the H of ammonia, H of acetone, they go with the loss of a molecule of water. So we get here now the product is like this: CH3, CH3, C, NH2, CS2, CO, CH3. So the name comes, so this is one acetone molecule, this is another acetone molecule, this is amine. So this is one acetone molecule, this represents another acetone molecule, this represents amine. So acetone, acetone, diacetone, amine, diacetone, amine. So this forms diacetone, amine. So you see formaldehyde forms hexamethylene tetramine, where 6 molecules of formaldehyde undergo condensation with 4 molecules of ammonia to form hexamethylene tetramine erythropine, a cyclic product. When you take acetaldehyde, then it undergoes simple nucleophilic addition reaction. One molecule react with one molecule to form acetaldehyde ammonia. When you come to acetone, 2 molecules of acetone react with one molecule of ammonia, but there is a loss of a molecule of water. Here there is a loss of a molecule of water takes place. Hence is called 2 molecules are added. Here all 3 molecules are got added to each other, and a loss of water molecule take place. Hence this reaction is called as condensation reaction taking place. So this is the way they differ. Now we'll come to the next one, Skipp's reagent. That is a PARAS. PARAS. So you can take as the Skipp's reagent. The reaction is Skipp's reagent. Skip is the name of a scientist. SCHIFF. Skipp's reagent. How it reacts with Skipp's reagent? This is a distinguishing test again for aldehyde from ammonia. First, what is Skipp's reagent? Question may come to you: what is Tollens reagent? What is Fehling solution? What is Bandit solution? What is Skipp's reagent? Such questions, 1 mark questions will be there in your questions also. For 2 mark question, they may ask you the reaction. For 3 mark question, if the question is a little longer, like acetaldehyde, formaldehyde, ammonia, or in case of aldol condensation, such reactions, you will be having 3 mark question. So each property of aldehyde is important, not difficult at all. You are not going to remember anything. The way I am doing on the board, exactly you do on the notebook like that. Then according to code, you go on remembering them. HEAROPARAS. There is no question of forgetting. There is no question of forgetting. So now let's come to what is Skipp's reagent. The Skipp's reagent is a colorless solution produced by passing sulfur dioxide through magenta dye or rosanolin hydrogen chloride. So the Skipp's reagent is a colorless solution produced by passing sulfur dioxide gas through a pink color solution of magenta dye. It is a dye. What is that compound? Magenta dye, which is rosanolin, which is rosanolene hydrogen chloride. Its chemical name is rosanolene hydrogen chloride and is a dye, magenta dye. So this magenta dye is a pink color. So this is a magenta dye and this is color is pink. If we pass sulfur dioxide gas through that, then we get Skipp's reagent. We get Skipp's reagent. This is colorless. Which Skipp's reagent is colorless. When the Skipp's reagent is a colorless solution produced by passing sulfur dioxide gas through a pink color solution of magenta dye, which is rosanolene hydrogen chloride. So this magenta dye we take and we pass sulfur dioxide gas through that, and that becomes loses its color and it becomes Skipp's reagent is a colorless solution. So when we add aldehyde, the Skipp's reagent, the aldehyde restore the color of magenta dye. The aldehydes, when passed through Skipp's reagent, they restore the color of pink color of magenta dye. That means if we take this Skipp's reagent, this is Skipp's reagent. Now we take this Skipp's reagent and add aldehyde to that. We add aldehyde to that. Now we will take this Skipp's reagent. We take here Skipp's reagent. To that we will add aldehyde, any aldehyde, formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, propanolbutylaldehyde, any aldehyde you add, you will get back the pink color. Pink color. So this is a test. So the aldehydes when added to Skipp's reagent, the pink color of magenta dye is restored. Pink color of magenta dye is restored. When you take the Skipp's reagent, add aldehyde. So this is a test for aldehyde group. So this reaction is used as a sensitive test for confirming presence of aldehyde group, in an organic compound. If any organic compound contains aldehyde group, we add Skipp's reagent to that, immediately it will become the pink color. But ketones do not produce pink coloration with Skipp's reagent. If you take the ketones, ketones do not react. Ketones do not restore the pink color when treated with Skipp's reagent. So this test is used as a distinguishing test for aldehyde and ketone. Aldehyde and ketone. Aldehydes react with Gibbs reagent, ketones do not. So now you have seen the children that all the reactions in which aldehyde differ from ketone is OPARAS, OPARAS. Now I will just say you how will you distinguish. A question may come to you. Suggest a distinguishing test between formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. Question may come to us. Suggest a distinguishing test for formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. This is a distinguishing test for formaldehyde from acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde when treated with iodine in presence of sodium hydroxide forms a yellow crystalline solid. Yellow crystalline solid with characteristic smell due to formation of iodoform. It forms, that means if you take acetaldehyde and treat this with iodine in presence of sodium hydroxide or any alkali, this forms iodoform. CHI3. But if you take formaldehyde plus iodine plus sodium hydroxide, no reaction, no iodoform. Hence, the acetaldehyde can be distinguished from formaldehyde by this test. The iodoform test. Now, a question may come to us: distinguishing test for acetaldehyde and acetone. You may have a question because these are the questions generally come in the board exam. In what are the suggested distinguishing test between aldehyde, acetaldehyde and acetone? Now we are discussing the distinguishing test between acetaldehyde and acetone. Distinguishing test for acetaldehyde from acetone. Acetaldehyde reacts with Tollens reagent. We can have Tollens reagent, that is called silver mirror test. The acetaldehyde forms silver mirror but not acetone. Acetaldehyde forms silver mirror but not acetone. This you have discussed in Tollens reagent. Just this if you take acetaldehyde and we add here Tollens reagent, which is ammoniacal silver nitrate solution, and warm it, then we get a silver mirror due to formation of metallic silver. That means if you take a test strip, aldehyde we take here, aldehyde, any aldehyde, both formaldehyde and acetaldehyde, and we add here the Tollens reagent, then warm, then inside the test strip, we will get a coating of silver due to metallic silver. We will get a coating of metallic silver. This reaction is what? I have taught you this reaction. That means if you take acetaldehyde, say CH3COH, the Tollens reagent subscribes Ag2O, the acetaldehyde gets oxidized to acetic acid, and 2 metallic silver are produced. So this is called silver mirror test. This is given by acetaldehyde, not by acetone. The second test is the test with Fehling solution. Acetaldehyde forms a red precipitate with Fehling solution, but not acetone. Fehling solution reacts with acetaldehyde to form a red precipitate due to cuprous oxide, but not acetone. The second test will go by this as Fehling solution. So when you take aldehyde, acetaldehyde or formaldehyde, any aldehyde can react, any acetaldehyde. When you treat this with Fehling solution and we warm, we get a red precipitate due to formation of cuprous oxide. That is what? If you take aldehyde RCOH, this Fehling solution supplies cupric oxide. This cupric oxide reacts to form the carboxylic acid, oxidizes the aldehyde to form carboxylic acid and gets reduced to this. So this cuprous oxide is a red precipitate we get, but not ketone. We will take acetone plus Fehling solution, no reaction. No reaction. So this is the way you can distinguish in the test for aldehyde and ketone. So you may get questions, very important questions are addition reactions, or you will have addition reaction, or in the also elimination reaction, the reaction with phenyl hydrazine. The question comes, what are the tests for carbonyl compounds? The carbonyl compound, carbonyl group, formation of phenyl hydrazine and formation of bisulfide compound. So when you take a carbon, both aldehydes and ketones, they react with 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine to form a colored precipitate due to formation of corresponding phenyl hydrazine, whereas ketones also will give, aldehydes will give. Then when you take aldehyde in any carbonyl compound, treat it with sodium bisulfite, then that will form a white crystalline product, that is bisulfite compound. So you know now got the carbonyl group. Then you distinguish whether it is aldehyde or ketone. You do the iodoform test. If it forms iodoform, then it is acetaldehyde, not formaldehyde. Then you do the test for this to test. If it is a ketone, to confirm not ketone but aldehyde, then you do the Fehling solution and tolerance result. Children, I have discussed everything. You remember this code that HEARO PARAS, here O PARAS. H is a reaction of haloform reaction of alkyl group, EAR reaction of the carbonyl group, O reaction of lone hydrogen atom, PARA molecule as a whole, S the reaction of Skipp's reagent. Here is a similarity, O PARAS difference. So very easily you can recapitulate the properties by this. So with this I complete aldehydes and ketones, but I will take a class in between where I will discuss some name reactions, pinnacle rearrangement, the Marivin-Pandroff-Verlet reduction, and another is a Testenko reaction. There are some name reactions are there. That I will take one class in between. After completing carboxylic acid, I will be taking that class, and in that class I will be explaining some mechanisms and also explain some non-reaction. So you please subscribe our channel by pressing the bell icon and like it, and anywhere you have any suggestions or any questions, you write in the comment box. We will welcome it to answer you, and we love you that you are following our class. Thank you very much.